Anyway, I have recently found out the reason I'm here today is to reduce the radiation exposure to young children, especially in the Petaluma City Schools specifically because that's where I am. And I just recently found out some hazards that were brought to my attention right before Easter break, and I decided to discuss with my daughter's teacher and the principal, and now I'm here to discuss with you guys, but basically just bring it to your attention that I would like to be on the agenda hopefully for the next board meeting and discuss in detail about mainly I want to teach the teachers how to teach the children safe practice with the devices, because I feel that the devices are being used kind of not inappropriately per se, but without safety hazards in mind. Like the other day, I'm a teacher for the students for gardening on Fridays, and the other day I was in the classroom waiting for the students to come out, and one of the teachers said, "We're going to hand the devices to each one of you guys, and I want you to place it in your lap and leave it in your lap until we have further instruction." And that immediately alarmed me, because when I read my cell phone, because I have a smartphone, it said all technical devices use caution and hold them like 20 centimeters away from your body because they can cause radiation to your body. So that was very alarming, because these devices, I found out, are always having Bluetooth on, and that's a problem to have Bluetooth and all of the wireless radiation pumping into their bodies constantly, radiating their body all day while they're at school, because the tablets are always on. And that's another safe problem that I have an issue with, is the fact that the tablets are always on and they're not ever being turned off, and they're not being properly, I feel, stored and charged. I have many concerns, like specifically the routers also in the classroom are constantly, there's 2 industrial strength routers in my daughter's classroom, and there's 40 tablets in her classroom because she shares a classroom with another class. And just all of that magnitude of radiation is something that hasn't been tested. I actually talked to the principal to see if possibly they could test the room and see how much radiation is in that space, and she said that it wasn't a possibility, which seemed kind of alarming to me, that it wouldn't be a possibility to see whether or not it's a safe thing to have in the school, because it's my understanding that schools are supposed to keep our children safe. That's what I've learned from the educational code that I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, to keep safety in schools. And if there's evidence that there is radiation exposure, which I've read from the World Health Organization and other cases, I mean, the more you research it, the more you can figure out the information. I actually sent some information to Michael Badley today and a few days ago, and it's because my boss gave me your name and said, "Hey, use Mike and give him some information before you speak." And I just want to make everybody aware that, I mean, I love technology. I think it's great. I've excelled at technology. I just know that there's safe ways to handle technology, especially in young children, because their bodies are more susceptible to the radiation than our bodies are. And I know now too, being pregnant, I'm 3 months pregnant, that it's also more damaging to my baby to actually be exposed long term. So I actually got rid of my cell phone, wired my house recently so that it's all hardwired instead of wireless. I mean, I know there's exposure everywhere. I mean, in here, look, everybody's got laptops. I mean, they're all on, irradiating, and I know that that's dangerous for me to be in the room with my baby, and I just want to reduce exposure. That's my main objective. I'll discuss more in detail, hopefully next time.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Unlike mobile phones, which can be switched off, Wi-Fi exposure is constant.
This is the toolbox of the 21st century, okay?
The 2008 education revolution under the Rudd government led to the rollout of Wi-Fi routers in public schools across the country. But some parents are concerned about their children's exposure to Wi-Fi in the classroom.
So basically when a child starts high school, they're at school for anywhere from 4 to 6 years, and they're sitting in radio frequency, microwave radiation, the 2B possible carcinogen, and the routers are pulsing all day, every day. On top of that, you've got mobile telephones, you've got their laptops, so you've got this whole layering of radio frequency, microwave radiation that we've never been exposed to before in the past. So with regards to that layering effect, who's to say what the consequences of that will be for that child's long-term future?
Unfortunately, we weren't granted access to measure the levels of Wi-Fi radiation in this school. The Department of Education didn't respond directly to our question about the risks of exposing children to Wi-Fi, but they did state that the Australian government is supporting research into the effects of electromagnetic energy on people's health. Libby says parents should not be forced to choose between educating their children and safeguarding them.
It's almost a case of involuntary consent. In a world where we sign permission slips at school for absolutely everything, no parent has given their child permission to sit in the 2B possible carcinogen, but yet they're unaware that that's what they're sitting in. What we'll do is we'll just turn the router on with our switch. We've basically instituted some simple switches at the high school that would work a little bit just like a light switch, and it's been trialled in several classrooms where if the teacher needs the computer that lesson, they'll basically switch the switch on and the router will start up, and if it's not needed, they'll turn it off. So it's quite simple.